I, so again, I wanted to make a video about thinking more about the walkaway movement and specifically in relation to what Douglas Murray recently referred to in the second Sam Harris Jordan Peterson London debate, where Douglas Murray, and this you can find this in a Spectator article review of this. Just type in Spectator, and it's, the title is talking about primates, the primates like us being the best show in town, about this Sam Harris Jordan Peterson event. So Douglas Murray at this moment, or during this event, makes the statement that all of these new political beliefs and political drives and the push of identity politics are new religions. And they're new religions with new dogmas, and how these new religions with new dogmas are forming every day, and they're forming in ways that we have seen plenty of times before, with the oppressed oppressor narratives that we see, the haves and the have-not narratives that we've seen, and that hold lots of truth. You know, these ideas hold lots of truth in them. But the issue with them is they are not representative of the best whole way forward, and that's why they keep forming and popping up, and they form up what Douglas Murray calls these new religions. And it seems to me that we have lost this identity of this religious nature, this spiritual nature of being that Americans, Westerners, have had for a long time, and that kind of goes to a deeper question about what all has happened with the direction of our nation through this past election, and the rift that it caused. It caused a rift, or it exposed a rift in the fabric of our society that is deeper than political. And it kind of goes back to these ideas that have been around for a very long time, ever since the ideas of Nietzsche. This idea that God is dead. And that's one of the most powerful things, in my opinion, that Dr. Peterson talks about, is his being a kind of a fan of Nietzsche, or an admirer of Nietzsche's work. And when he talks about Nietzsche saying that God is dead, and we've killed him, and that there will never be enough water to wash away the blood, this is something that seems to have been at work since Nietzsche said that. And Dr. Peterson, I think, would say that the results of that led directly to fascism, communism, these rational explanations for human behavior, these rational explanations for how we should organize ourselves politically. And those things have had an impact in who we are, who we have become in a political sense. But the issue is deeper than political. And I think we think politically, or we like to act politically or speak politically because it's part of our culture. But again, the issues that cause these political divides are much deeper than just Republican, Democrat, conservative, liberal. And I think in a lot of ways, a lot of people are walking away because, not Russian bots either, a lot of people are walking away because it seems like the Democrats, the liberals, the progressives have bought into this idea that human beings are one certain way, and we need one certain thing, and if we could just get this equality down, we'd be okay. But the problem is deeper than that. The problem's more individual than that. The problem is the lack of in Dr. Peterson's opinion, the problem is the lack of understanding of the myth of who we are. You can call it religion, you can call it whatever you want. The idea of God, because it has been removed, people have been trying to fill that void with their politics. And when they talk about things like that, you can see them or listen to them talking religiously. This is what Murray was bringing up in the Sam Harris, Jordan Peterson talk. These new religions. Dr. Jung would have spoken about and I think Peterson as well. This is what how Peterson refers to these things is parasites. These decomposing bacteria substances that just suck the life out of a decaying carcass, is what these new religions are doing to our society, because in Nietzsche's words, God is dead. One of the things, this is one of the things I feel like you're seeing with Dr. Peterson's ideas kind of superseding Sam Harris's, because in Peterson's eyes, he's using this mythological worldview as a guide for an understanding of who we are. And in a lot of ways, this is why, in my opinion, his arguments are sticking a little bit more. And I'm not saying that Sam Harris's arguments are wrong. I think there's lots of truth in Harris's arguments. I think there's lots of truth in, to take it back to a political thing, I think there's a lot of truth in what the Democrats are asking for. I think there's lots of truth there of what people need to be politically successful, to have a place in this world. That's why I voted Democrat for a long time. That's why I voted for Obama twice. I think I'd vote for him again. But we're not seeing that from the Democratic Party in a way that drives us forward, in a way that you can see this identity-esque game that the Democrats or the liberals, you can call them whatever you want to call them, seem to be playing. We know that that's not going to work. Again, this is one of the things that I find so interesting about identifying the people on the right that we don't listen to. We don't have to listen to Nazis. We just don't have to listen to them. We know that that's too far. We know that is too far in a collectivist direction. We don't need that. We've played that game. And we played the far left game too. We don't need to play that game. Both of those seem to arise off this idea of identity, and that's what's so scary about both directions of both parties, is you can see those old ideas that are dying, those old religions that are dying, and you can see them played out in the language and in people's fears, from both sides. And I think both sides have legitimate fears. In final response to Murray's stance on these new religions that our political discourse has descended, when you add the Nietzsche problem, our political discourse has descended into this identity-based religion. The religion of the progressives, the religion of the haves and the have-nots, and the religion of so many different things that are tried. I think that's why people are walking away, is because they see these religions, these new dogmas, these new political things that do not answer the fundamental problem that we're facing. And hopefully we can figure that out. I think a lot of people would find a lot of answers to that if they would read Jung. Just an understanding of Jung really helps understand the issues. The fact that Jung didn't need religion as much, because when asked if he believed in God, he said, "I know." So I have no reason to believe. You can do a whole lot more when you know. When you know something, you don't have to act like you believe. And when you know something, it gives you more of an understanding of how to act, and not necessarily what tools to use, or necessarily what party to vote for. Those are beliefs. Anyway, and as Dr. Peterson would say, Jung had an answer for Nietzsche. And anyway, those are my thoughts about my recent thoughts about Murray's Murray's stance and statement about all these new religions popping up. And so I would say, let's all walk away from dying political religions. And that's my thoughts. Have a good day.